Hello students, how are you all? So this is the part 4 of electricity. In the last part we have already discussed about the connection of resistors in the series and the parallel. Now we will proceed on the other topics in this part. So let's talk about the disadvantages of the series connection. Okay, so let's see the first point. Okay, so this is the first point. So if a number of bulbs are connected in series, then just one bulb gets fused or blow off, then all the other bulbs will also stop glowing. Okay, so that is the first disadvantage with the series connection, because we know in series every resistor is connected with end-to-end connection. Okay, because of end-to-end connection, so if any of the resistor, okay, or you can say a bulb that is connected in form of a resistance, blow off or just fuse, then the whole circuit will be disturbed and the other bulbs will also stop glowing. So that is the first problem. Now let's see the second. In series circuit, all the electrical appliances have only one switch, due to which they cannot be turned off or off separately. Okay, so in series we have only single switch. Okay, like you have seen the Diwali lights. Okay, so all the bulbs are connected in series, so using a single switch you can only off them or on them. Let's see the third point. In series circuit, the appliances do not get the same voltage as that of the power supply line, because the voltage is shared by all the appliances. Okay, so when we derived the formula for the series connection, I told you that each resistance has their own potential difference. Okay, so that means if you are connecting a bulb in series with a let's suppose a TV. Okay, you are connecting a bulb with a TV in a series, then what will happen if the supply voltage of television is different from the bulb? That is, of course, because both are different appliances, then the television will not get the same voltage, or either bulb will not get the same voltage. Okay, so that is the problem in series. Now let's talk about the fourth point. In series connection of electrical appliances, the overall resistance of the circuit increases too much, due to which the current from the power supply is very low. Okay, so as we already shown in the last numericals, that the overall resistance increases in case of series. Okay, so that's why we can say the current is because of increase in resistance will overall decrease. Okay, so that these are the disadvantages of the series connection. Now let's talk about some advantages of the parallel connection. Okay, so let's see the first point. So the first point suggests that if the one electrical appliances stops working due to some defect, then all the other appliances will keep on working normally. Okay, so this is the one of the best advantage you get on the parallel, that even if the one bulb or one television or any other single component is blown off, okay, but in parallel the others appliances will keep on working, because they have a separate end-on connection. Okay, now let's see the second point. In parallel circuits, each electrical appliance has its own switch, due to which it can be turned on and turned off independently without affecting the other appliances. Okay, so similarly, as you can see in your room, you have a separate switch for the light, a separate switch for your fan, and separate switch for your mobile charging point. Okay, so this is the kind of parallel connection, and you know that you are getting advantage. Then with using a different switches, you can on them or either off them and use independently. Now let's see the third point. In parallel circuits, each electrical appliance get the same voltage. Okay, so this same voltage that you get from the switch is equal to 220 volt. Okay, so this is the input voltage, or you can say supply voltage. You cannot change it. That came from the connection. Okay, from a connection. So what is the benefit in parallel? That each appliance will get the same voltage, that is the required voltage to operate any kind of appliance. Okay, so that is the maximum voltage that you can get in a parallel, and it is unaffected by the other appliances. Now let's see the fourth point. In the parallel connection, of electrical appliances, the overall resistance of the household is reduced, due to which the current from the power supply is high. Okay, so because of the parallel connection, we know the overall resistance is decreased, okay, or you can say reduced. Therefore the current becomes higher because of reduction in the resistance. Now we will see a very interesting topic that is known as electric power. Okay, so let's talk about what is electrical power, or you can say electric power. So it is the work done per unit time. It is the work done per unit time. Okay, so you can write the power as the ratio of work done upon the time taken. Okay, so what is the work done here? The work done here is that is on the charges to let them flow. Okay, that is in the form of current and potential. That is the combination and known as the work done. Okay, we have already seen about what is work in electricity. Okay, and that is the time taken that we already know. Okay, so if we talk about the SI unit, then the SI unit of power is 1 watt. Okay, so for work done we can write its unit. We know that it has a unit that is 1 joule upon 1 second. Okay, so we can say in 1 watt power 1 joule is consumed per second. Okay, now if we talk about some the other units, then we already have a watt, and that is a smaller unit. Okay, while there is also a unit that is known as 1 kilowatt, that is equal to 1000 watts, and that is the bigger unit that is used for either generator and the large power supplies. Okay, so based on the ratio of joule and second, we can also explain the power that when an electrical appliance consumes electrical energy at the rate of 1 joule per second, its power is said to be 1 watt. Okay, like we can see the bulb in this diagram, it is a bulb of 60 watt. Okay, 60 watt power. So what does it mean? That it is consuming 60 joules every second. Okay, so that is the meaning of 60 watt, or you can say power of the bulb. Okay, so it's here also written the same definition, that is the, we can call it as a summary definition. Okay, that is the rate at which the electrical work is done, or the rate at which the electrical energy is consumed, is called as the electric power. Okay, now we will see the formula for the calculating the electric power. Okay, so we know that we have a work done, that is the energy is spent on a unit charge to flow. Okay, so we have already a formula, that is W is equal to Q into V, or you can call V equal to W upon Q. Okay, so we are writing the work done here. Okay, and we know the power is the ratio of W upon T, so that's why now put the value of W here. Okay, so we can write here Q into V upon T. Okay, now we already know there is a term that is because of combination of Q upon T. Okay, and that is known as the current. Okay, that is known as the current. So that's why replace the Q by T with I, and let the V be there in the multiplication, that is multiplication V. So now what we can see, that we can express the power in terms of multiplication of current and the potential difference. Okay, so that is the one form of power that you can use to calculate the given term or the electric power of your appliance. Okay, so similarly we can say, we know the unit is 1 watt for the power, and for current we can say it has a 1 ampere, and for potential we know the unit is 1 volt. Okay, so we can say, we can explain 1 watt, that if an electrical appliance is operated at a potential difference of 1 volt and it consumes, or you can say it carries a current of 1 ampere, then the power is said to be or becomes 1 watt. Okay, so that is also a definition in terms of potential difference and current. Now we will see some other forms of power. Okay, so first see the power in terms of current and resistance. Okay, so we have already a formula that we have seen on the last slide, that is P equal to V cross I, or P or V into I. Okay, now using the Ohm's law we can write V by I equal to R. Okay, that is the same formula, do not confuse, that we can also write V equal to IR. Okay, now we want our power formula in terms of I and R. Okay, so that means we need to eliminate, or we need to express V in form of I and R. Okay, so let's calculate the value of V from here. Okay, so V can be replaced at I into R. So put this value of V in the above equation. Okay, so what you are getting? You are getting I into R in place of V and into I, that is written in the same way. So I and I will combine, and after combining they will form P is equal to I square into R. So that is the term of electric power only in the form of current and the resistance. Okay, so that is the second form of your power. The first form is here, that is P equal to V into I. Okay, now we will see the power in terms of V and R, that is potential and resistance. So we have our basic formula, that is V into I. So this time we want to see only V and R, that's why we have to eliminate I. Okay, so let's write once again the Ohm's law, that is V equal to IR or V by R equal to R, and separate out the term of I. Okay, using these equations, separate out the value of I. Now we have got the I equal to V by R. So again put in the above equation and replace the I. Okay, so when you will put the value, that is V by R, so V and V by R will combine and they will form, that is P equal to V square by R. So we have seen there are three forms of our formulas, that is the first one is P equal to V into I, the second one is P equal to I square into R, and the third one is that is P equal to V square by R. Okay, so now here that it is clear that the power is inversely proportional to the resistance. That means if the resistance, okay, if the resistance of our devices is high, that is it will have a smaller value of the power. Okay, for example we can see the resistance of 100 watt. Okay, the resistance of 100 watt is smaller than that of the 60 watt. Okay, so that's why the 100 watt bulb glows with the more brightness as compared to the 60 watt bulb. Here is the example. We can see that it is glowing, the first bulb is glowing a little less brighter as compared to the second one. So we can say that this brighter bulb is consist of the 100 watt. Okay, so that's why its rating is 100 watt. Okay, and the first one has a rating of, that is 60 watts. Okay, so if the device have a lesser resistance, that means it will have a higher power and it will glow or work with a higher efficiency or a higher you can say a brightness. Now here is some table that consists of the different electrical appliances that we generally use in our daily life, and we will see that what is the rating of power and how the current drawn is proportional to them. So first of all, I want to tell you that this section, that is the potential, that is the voltage supply. Okay, that is same in this column. Okay, why? Because when you use any type of appliance, you connect it to the switch. Okay, and from switch you get the same value for every appliances. That is 220 voltage is actually you get for all the appliances. That is the fixed value. Okay, so that is the value of potential. Okay, now let's talk about the tube light. Okay, so a general tube light has a power of 40 watt. Okay, so if you use the formula that is P equal to V cross I, then you can use to calculate a current and you get a value of current that is 0.18 ampere. Okay, similarly if you talk about an electric bulb which has a rating of 60 watt, then again use the formula to calculate the current and you get a value that is 0.27 ampere. So this time we see that if the potential is same and it has a higher power as compared to the tube light, okay, so what we see there is a increment in the current. That means it have a, or it works on the higher current as compared to the tube light. Okay, similarly we can see if we talk about let's suppose we are talking about the TV set. Okay, so the rating of TV set is more higher as compared to the bulb, that is 120 watt. Okay, and the 220 is again fixed. So if you calculate the current, you will get a value that is equal to 0.54 ampere. Okay, so similarly you can see and calculate the value of current with your own effort also, and check that how the different as we see the power is increasing. Okay, as we see the power is increasing for the constant voltage. Okay, so what is happening, the current values are also increasing when we are moving below the table. Okay, so that means if the power consumption is more for a constant potential, the current value is also higher. Okay, now let's do a sample problem. Okay, so let's see what it is saying. An electric bulb is rated 220 volt and 100 watt. Okay, when it is operated on 110 volt, the power consumed will be. Okay, so that is a problem that is from NCERT. Okay, so what it is saying, that you are using an electric bulb that is rating 220 volt, that it will work on the 220 volt potential and have a power supply power needed that is 100 watt. Okay, now what you did, you disconnected that bulb that was earlier working on 220 volt, and now you are trying to operating it on a switchboard that is giving you 110 volt supply. So we have to calculate now what will be the new power that it will consume. Okay, so we know either you connect bulb in 220 or either 110, one thing will remain same, and that is the property of a material. Okay, I hope you remember the term that is known as the resistance of your device. Okay, so now we have the two terms, that is V and the one is R. Okay, so we have our one formula in terms of V and R, that is P equal to V square upon R. Okay, so using this formula we have to calculate our resistance. So put the values respectively and calculate the value of resistance. Okay, so your value should come, that is 484 ohms. Okay, so as it is also written, the resistance of the bulb will remain unchanged either you connect it to the any kind of supply voltage. Okay, so now this time you have to calculate the power. So again use the formula that is you have that is in form of V square by R, because you know again you are only provided with the voltage. Okay, there is no use of current here. Okay, so just now put the value of R that you have already calculated and the value of V that is given to you, and when you will calculate, you will get the value of the power to be 25 watt. Okay, so among these four options, the D option is correct for us. Okay, so what we are seeing here, we are saying that if you are reducing the supply voltage, okay, that is by half, you are getting a power that is 1/4. Okay, because earlier you are getting a power of 100 watt, but now you are only able to get it that is 25 watt as compared to the earlier supply of 220. Okay, okay, now let's see one more problem. Okay, that is the objective kind. So which of the following does not represent the electrical power in a circuit? Okay, so that is again a very interesting part. Okay, so we have to tell that which formula is incorrect for the case of electric power. So we know the third one is a right formula. Okay, we also did the last one, that is V square by R. Okay, and among the A, B, if you see, then this A is also correct for us. That means we haven't done any derivation, that is I R square, we have done I square R. So that's why our this option will be the right answer, and this formula is the wrong one for the electric power. Okay, now let's see an important formula for calculating the electrical energy. Okay, so we can write the power in terms of work done and the time taken, that we already know. Okay, now according to law of conservation of energy, the work done by the electric current is totally equal to the electric energy that is consumed by your device. Okay, so what does it mean? We can replace the work done with the term that is energy, that is electrical energy, and that's why we can write the electrical energy equal to power into time. Okay, so work done is replaced by the electrical energy, and we can write electrical energy equal to power into time. Okay, Now let's see the SI unit. So what is the SI unit? We know the power have a unit of watt, okay, and time is taken, okay, this time is not taken in seconds, okay, time will be taken in the hours, okay. So the unit is watt hour for the electrical energy, okay. And you know that the electrical energy is earlier replaced by the work done. So we know the work done has also a unit, that is joule, okay. So both are the units of the electrical energy that is consumed, okay. Now let's see the commercial unit of our electrical energy. Okay, so what does it mean commercial? Commercial mean that in our homes we use a commercial meter. Okay, that is the connection from that you are getting from the power supply department. Okay, so that's why it is known as commercial, because you pay some amount of money for using the power, okay, or getting the supply of voltage in your home, and that's why you are able to use the all the electrical appliances, okay. So that's why we call it a commercial unit of electrical energy. So what is the commercial unit? It is kilowatt hour, okay, kilowatt hour. So let's see what it is. So 1 kilowatt hour is the amount of electrical energy that is consumed when an electrical appliance having a power rating of 1 kilowatt is used for 1 hour, okay. So if there is a device in your house or an appliance that is having a power rating of 1 kilowatt and you are using it for 1 hour, so the combination, okay, so the combination energy consumed is said to be 1 kilowatt hour, and it is represented with the kilowatt hour in the form of kWhr. Okay, now let's see the relation between the 1 kilowatt and the joule. Let's see that how big our 1 kilowatt hour is, okay. So we see that it is the amount of power, that is 1 kilowatt consumed for 1 hour, okay. We can write it easily. Now we know that in 1 kilo we have a 1000 value, okay. So what we can write? We can write 1 kilo as a 1000 and then watts for 1 hour, okay. And we also know that 1 watt can be written as 1 joule upon second, because we want to get a relation between the joule also, okay. So let's write 1 kilowatt in the form of 1000 and replace the watts with the ratio, that is 1 joule upon second, okay, and let it be 1 hour now, okay. Now we have already came to the joules. Now see here, we have seconds and we have hours, okay. So we want the relation in joules only, so let's make the hour into the second, okay. So first convert it into the minutes. So how we will convert it? We will multiply it with the 60, okay. So when you will multiply it with the 60, it will become in minutes, and when you will again multiply it in the with the 60, then it will convert whole value into the second. So now this value is totally in the seconds, okay. So here it is written, we have 1000 joules upon second, and this is 60 cross 60 seconds, okay. Now let's combine all the numerical terms, okay, and let the unit be on other side, okay. So what we see, the second are common, that will cancel, and we get the value, that is 1 kilowatt hour, okay, because we know the watt hour is also equal to joule, okay, because both are the unit for electrical energy. So that means the 1 kilowatt hour is equal to, you can call it as a 3.6 into 10 to power 6 joules, okay. And remember, 1 kilowatt hour is again a unit of the electrical energy, okay, not power, okay, because for power we only say kilowatt or watt, okay. But if the hours is connected with the kilowatt, that means it is a unit of electrical energy. So this thing please keep in your mind. Now let's see that how we can calculate the electricity bill, okay. So directly we will take a problem, that is a practical problem of a refrigerator, and we will see that how you can calculate the electricity bill for a particular device, and then you can also use it to calculate for the multiple devices also. So let's take a simple numerical here. So let's read out first. A refrigerator having a power rating of 350 watt that operates for 10 hours a day. Okay, so this is the rating of your refrigerator, that is 350 watt. Okay, and you are operating it for the 10 hours a day. Okay, so calculate the cost of electrical energy to operate it for a month of 30 days, and the rate of electrical energy is 3.4 rupees per kilowatt hour. Okay, so it is a very interesting question. Okay, so what you have to calculate, you have to calculate the cost of electrical energy that is required to operate it for a 30 days. Okay, or you can call for a month. Okay, and the rate of electrical energy that you are taking from the government or the supply is given, that you have to pay 3.4 rupees for a 1 kilowatt hour. Okay, so we have to calculate the cost. Okay, so what is the basic idea that we have to calculate? Okay, the first what we should calculate, the total amount of energy in form of kilowatt hour for the operation of, or for the working of 30 days. Okay, so let's write first the power, that is the power is equal to 350 watt. Okay, and let's convert it into the kilowatt hour. Okay, because when you will convert it in kilowatt hour, then only you will be able to multiply with it to calculate the how much money you have to give. Okay, because maybe it will be consuming more than 1 kilowatt hour. Okay, so we have converted it in the form of kilowatt. How? By dividing with the 1000. Okay, now we have to calculate it in the form of kilowatt hours. Okay, so R is missing here. Okay, so let's write that T equal to 10 into 30 hours. Okay, so we know that on single day you are using it for 10 hours. Okay, 10 hours, and that's why you have to multiply with the 30. Why? Because you are using also for the month. Okay, so on single day it is 10 hours, and for 30 days that is 300 hours you are using it. Okay, now let's write that for a single you are using it for 0.35 power. Okay, and let's multiply with the time. Okay, so what is the time now? That is 0.35 into 300, and it will come in the form of kilowatt hour. So this value is totally your electrical energy that is consuming by your refrigerator for a month. Okay, now this is you have got in the kilowatt hour. Now what you know, that 1 kilowatt hour, if you want to buy 1 kilowatt hour, then you have to pay 3.40. Then if you want to buy 105, that means you have to multiply the 3.40 with the 105, and that means the value you will calculate will be 357 rupees for a month. Okay, so you can rewatch the video to get the idea that what we have done once again. Okay, but that is a way to calculate a electricity bill. Okay, so thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope this lecture was very interesting for you, and the one thing that you have learned about the power consumption, and how to calculate the electricity bill. Okay, so let's meet in the next lecture.